Hi everyone, I'm Nathan with the ebookreader.com. I wanted to give a quick comparison review between the new Fire HD6 here on the left and the Kindle Fire HDX, the 7-inch version. So obviously there's a huge difference in size. There's also a 7-inch Fire HD that they just released this year. It's closer to the size of this one. It's very similar. It doesn't have the higher resolution screen that the HDX has. Anyway, it's all kind of confusing, but I have a comparison table on my website if you wanted to figure out all the differences between them. But I wanted to just show this video basically to show the differences between the smallest Kindle Fire, the Fire HD6, and the 7-inch Fires, which are a lot more common. I mean, 7-inch tablets have been there since the very beginning of Android tablets, so it's interesting to finally see somebody come out with a 6-inch version. As you can see, it's a lot smaller overall. We've got it's at least an inch shorter and an inch wide, or narrower. It's probably more like an inch and a quarter narrower at least. Their thickness is very different, just because like the HDX has that really tapered edge and this one has more of a thick edge. So I think that the thickness is about the same overall, but it feels a lot thinner on the HDX just because of the way the edges are beveled. So as far as software goes, I'm not entirely sure if Amazon's updating the operating system on the HDX or not. I mean, since they're still offering it, I would assume that they would. But right now the Fire HDX, it has Fire OS 3.0 running on it, right here on the right, and the new Fire HDs have Fire OS 4.0. I thought it was kind of funny because on the description for Fire OS 4.0, Amazon says like an entirely visual upgrade, but as you can tell, I mean, they look identical virtually. I mean, the OS is pretty much identical. The only thing that's really changed is like the icons. See the Silk icon browser right there on the left? It's totally different than the old icons. So the icons are new. There's also some different additional things like Smart Suspend, which is a new feature on the HDs that are supposedly help with battery life. So as far as that goes, let's go ahead and talk some more about the features with these two devices. So the 6-inch version here has a high resolution screen. It's 1280 by 800 for on the 6-inch screen. That works out to 250 dots per inch. On the 7-inch version here, this is the HDX, so it's got over 300, I think it's 323 pixels per inch. So you got the higher resolution screen on the HDX. The 7-inch version of the HD, it has the low resolution screen. It has the same resolution as the smaller one, so it actually loses clarity once you get the bigger screen. But as far as comparing these two screens go, this is the same book with roughly the same font sizes. They scale a little bit differently, so it's actually one size bigger on here on the left, but they look actually about exactly the same size. But as you can see, so it cuts off right here at the word taking, so that's right here. So you're getting that much extra screen reading real estate with the larger 7-inch screen. So it's really only a couple of sentences, like 3 lines basically, but it definitely works out to a lot overall. But once you have the smaller device, I really like the Fire HDX form factor, or the Fire HD6s, just because you can fit your hand on it, around it really good, and you can still use your thumb for navigation and stuff. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which one you got. The software is basically the exact same amount of features on them. I mean, you got the same exact lists up here with the same exact, apps and books, and it's the same exact deal. I mean, it just has a slightly updated software here on the HD. I'm not sure if, like I said, if the HDX is getting the software or not, but as far as features go, you're getting the same exact thing, same exact carousel. You got the different hardware differences with the HDX. It does have 2 speakers, whereas the HD here on the left, it only has 1 speaker, and the speaker definitely sounds better on the HDX. I don't know how well it's gonna translate on the camera here, but let me go ahead and give you a quick sound test here with the volume up on both of them. So yeah, it's definitely quite a bit quieter on the HD, just with that 1 speaker. The 7-inch version of the HD has 2 speakers, I noticed on the spec sheet. Otherwise, I think it's pretty much exactly the same. These both have Bluetooth, and obviously, like I said, you got a few hardware upgrades with the HDX with the high resolution screen and the additional speakers, and it's also got dual band Wi-Fi, where this one has single band Wi-Fi. Another thing that I noticed this difference between these two is the touch screen. So that's one thing they did to save money on the HD to get it down to 99 bucks, because the HDX is twice as much at 199, is this one only has a 2-point touchscreen, so you can only activate 2 points on the screen at once, where the Kindle Fire, the HDX, it's got 10-point capacitive, so obviously you got a lot more points of touch on the screen. I don't really know how useful that is. Basically you only use 2 most of the time, unless you're using like a piano app like this, but so as far as that goes, they're basically the same. One thing you'll notice here is with the new operating system, it automatically opens apps in full screen, which is nice. So with these old operating systems, it always put this annoying ugly tab on everything that you had to slide up. It's like totally obvious that you have to slide up, so I don't know why the tab had to be there. So on these newer ones, you just have to slide up. They got rid of that tab, so it definitely looks better as far as the visual aspects go when you're in apps. So Silk browser was apparently improved with the OS 4.0. I really don't notice any differences, to be honest with you. I don't know if they haven't implemented them yet. It said that it had private browsing and stuff, but I don't see that option anywhere. I do see the option to print page. So on the old HDX, you didn't have that print page option, which was a new feature. You still got the same full screen option. Full screen mode works really well on the smaller screen there, because you get rid of all the bars and everything. It looks a lot better with the full screen. So you got the full screen on this one too. It just doesn't require going into the menu. You just have to hit that button right there. But I always hated that stupid tab like you see right there. It always annoyed me. So I'm glad that they got rid of that. It's just totally obvious that you swipe up and then you get back to your menu anyway. So I don't know why that tab needed to be there. So otherwise, you got the same features. You got the same home screen. You got the same tabs. So like I said, these two devices are very similar. Obviously, it's just some hardware differences between them that separate them. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this review right here. I just wanted to show you guys, outline the main differences between these two. Obviously, the size is the biggest difference, and other than that, I mean, they're basically the same device software-wise. So, and oh, one other thing I forgot to mention: the new Fire HDs, they have a rear camera. None of the other Fire tablets used to have rear cameras. So even though this one costs twice as much, no rear camera. So yeah, even the $99 one now has rear camera, so that's definitely an added bonus. It takes decent pictures. I took a few on here. It's nothing spectacular, but for an added camera on the device, it is kind of nice to have. So I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this review right here. Check out the ebookreader.com for some additional information. I'm gonna be posting full reviews of these devices as well, so if you wanted to check out more in depth as far as the software features go, I'll be posting full reviews of this device as well.